Yeah, my name is Scott Bates. I'm originally from Lake Forest, California. I currently live in Portland, Oregon, so things have changed a little bit. I work at the largest retail or apparel and footwear retail company in the world. And my goal coming into this program was originally just to get bigger, and I learned so much more outside of that that has helped me mentally, physically, and emotionally, um, which has completely changed my life.
Yeah, because I remember when we first started, it was pretty much specifically a weight gain
Yeah.
goal. That was kind of
Yeah.
where the extent of that conversation was. Do you remember where you were? We switched apps midway through, so I
Yeah.
want to say you were around 190 coming in,
I
or was it?
think so. It might have been like 180, 190. So
Yeah,
I had started my fitness journey like around COVID, a little before, a little after, somewhere in that range. And I weighed like 160 pounds. And so when I first started, like most people, I just ate anything that came my way. And then I got up to like 210, but it was like an ugly 210. And it wasn't like anything was calculated. I thought I was lifting heavy, but I wasn't. And I was just eating whatever came my way. And then I was like, the gym's not that fun anymore. And I had dropped off. And then I just slowly started getting back into it, but didn't have consistency. And that's when you and I started working together. And it changed again, like it changed the way that I think about the gym 100%.
that's right. Yeah, so you had kind of bounced up and then dropped back down, and then we're looking to really do it the right way and do it
Yeah.
sustainably.
Yeah.
So I was going through. So yeah, so you were around 180, 190, kind of bouncing, hovering between there. And when we finished up, you were at 215.
Yeah.
So that's about 20 to 30 pounds
Yeah.
of solid uh, muscle gain, which is like, and I remember it was a steady, your charts were like spot on. You see that gradual gain, drop down a little bit, gradual gain, drop down, and it's that slow and predictable progress. That's not something that's completely unpredictable. We were able to be very calculated and efficient with the way that you train while also balancing that into your daily life, which is really good. So, and before we started talking today, um, tell me a little bit how you've been able to maintain that routine, those and a few of the just habits and maybe downloads that you've had that you're still able to implement.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things, obviously, is just staying consistent in the gym, and I think that's the baseline. There's so much more that I have continued on. I do a daily affirmation journal every morning just to remind myself kind of like what I'm grateful for and who I'm grateful for and how I'm working towards goals for not only myself but for them. Just journaling in general and finding journal prompts that talk about, you know, I I need to be the best version of myself to give my best version of myself, and if I'm not 100%, I can't give 100%. And that's in the gym, that's in life, that's at work, that's in my relationship, that's everything. So just finding that every single day and reaffirming myself has helped me grow exponentially. And that's continued even past the program. And it's really set me up for success.
I love it. I love it. I think we probably had, I would say, in your year, I would say probably five or six pretty solid conversations that had nothing to do with training. And I think that's a big part of the True North program. Like it's a big part of my philosophy of what I want to give to you guys. And I'm curious of when you came in, obviously with more of a very specific focus with training. How did that affect you? And at what point did things kind of shift of what you realized you needed to do through some of our conversations, and really putting in that focus into yourself as a whole, and how the physical is really becomes more of a byproduct of that.
Yeah. I thought it was just as easy as, eat protein, go to the gym, good to go. You're going to be happy in life. And that's not how it works at all. As long as you are happy with yourself, you're going to excel in all facets of your life. So, again, being content and understanding what you're content about takes it into the gym, takes you to a really high level, and then you're more confident. And I know we had talked about this in the past. While I was going through the program, I struggled a little bit wanting to up the weights because I had a mental block being like, what if I look dumb in the gym? Which is so dumb to look back on now because it's like, well, if I can't lift the weight, I can't lift the weight. Like people aren't going to point and laugh at me. It's going to be something like, oh, I need to go down 5 pounds and slowly work my way up to that and have that confidence to understand growth takes time. It's not going to be 1 week I'm lifting 85-pound dumbbells and the next week I'm lifting hundreds. It needs to be that slow incline up.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and just again focusing on what makes me a better person and how I can be the best version of myself to give it to others.
Mhm. Yeah. Would you say that concept right there of really and fully embodying that, because it is tricky, right? Because especially as you get more responsibilities in your family life and your work, it becomes really easy to think that the right thing to do is to almost put yourself to the side and kind of put everything into that, and then you start to realize you're giving yourself a version of yourself to them that they deserve more, and that takes you to kind of take a step back and zoom out, and look at your life and see like how where are the areas that I can really pour into myself and make sure my cup is full, before I'm giving to others. Would you say that was kind of the most powerful lesson that you learned in the program? And I'm curious what other lessons kind of stuck with you, now that we're taking a look back.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If my cup is full and I am fulfilled and I am not anxious about things or stressed about things because I know how to control it myself and understand my emotional capabilities, I'm able to give myself more to others in a more positive way and be that stability that other people might need when they're low, right? I think that's a fantastic thing. But I think on the other side, it's just like something that I took away from the program is a lot of self-worth and a lot of self-confidence, regardless of what my body looks like or how I'm physically feeling. Just finding that confidence in how I hold myself every day because I am doing these little tasks that add up. And through those, again, journaling, affirmation, all that stuff is great. But actually living those things out every day and physically putting myself in those situations helped me grow exponentially. And that all came from the program too. It's far more than just like I'm going to write these things down. This is great right in this second, but I'm going to go to work and be stressed out about every little thing that someone says. Like you have to live that, and you have to believe in everything that's going on around you.
Mm, so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's not like you just write something down and it just magically happens. That's the work, right? Do you think what about the program do you feel like really helped you embody that? As obviously we had a lot of time together and a lot of different conversations and stuff with the group. What aspects do you feel like were really valuable for you in making that something that you could live out and not just have it be another one of those things that fizzles out after a couple weeks?
I think one of the things is the community aspect was really great in the program. Everyone was going through something, and there's bits and pieces that you can pull from other people's experiences and be like, oh, if they're doing it and this is what they're going through, like I could do it too. and matching that up, right? And just interacting with people that are also within the program outside of just, talking with you once a week, once every couple of weeks, whatever it is. Having that interaction is great, but also the school side and figuring out uh, the mental capabilities that we can have, or kind of the mindsets or exercises that we can go through that work our mind as well as our body. Just aspects of that have changed the way that I function daily. And then just try and live out those leadership habits, those daily habits that set up my life for success, which is all run through the more mental side of the program than it is the physical side, which is really crazy to think about.
It is. It is. I love it because it's very common to think that the physical, this is it, right? This is all you have to do, and as you get into this shape, then like just naturally everything will catch up. And um, I think me going through that and realizing that firsthand was kind of a light bulb of why everything in the program is the way that it is, because of how valuable that mental piece is, and to be able to exercise it, like truly take the same mindset that you would have to practicing exercises in the gym. Like we send form videos, we track our weight so that we can see that we're progressing. We can take those same ideas into the mental side and think of it as a practice. And of course, it's not going to be perfect right away. And when you watch some gurus on YouTube and try to compare yourself to that, like how that's going to set you up to fail. So I'm glad that those pieces were impactful, because it's all, everything is intentional, and seeing how you are living your life intentionally now, um, after giving yourself time is amazing. So give yourself credit, because when you start to make these habits more solidified, it becomes normal, which is great. But make sure that you do give yourself credit for how much work that you've put in to that, and feel that gratitude for the process that you've been able to do. Because these, to be able to have this conversation with you is very special. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's been great.
what do you feel like you enjoyed most throughout the process, whether it be fitness related, mental related, community? Um, what do you feel like for you was just something that allowed the process to be a little bit more enjoyable?
Yeah.
Not so much like looking at it as like work, but being able to truly like have fun with it.
Yeah. I think a fun aspect, obviously, for all of us is like our lifts going up and like seeing what that is and what the program does for that. Um, but then just like having interactions in our community group chats that we have. I we were over Slack and just talking like, hey, I ran 3 miles today, and we're all just like, dude, that's so incredible. Like, congratulations, that's huge. That's something that's super fun. That's part of the program. That's very different than a lot of other programs because most of the time it's just one on one with a trainer.
Hmm.
Or, if it's virtual, they're just sending you a list of exercises due for the week. And they're like, we'll talk to you on Friday. And it's less like, hey, we're all doing this together as kind of like a team. And a lot of us come from sports backgrounds, and we should be doing this as a team to push each other to get to that highest level that we can get to.
Mm, yeah, I agree. We're built as community. We're built to thrive as a community, and I'm sure at some points in your journey you probably felt it, that like tendency to try to be the lone wolf, and like, oh, this win isn't that good compared to everyone else, so I probably shouldn't share it. Or this struggle, no one probably will understand this. I'll probably look weird. I'm not going to share it. And then what happens when you start overcoming that, because you see other people doing it, and then you're like, okay, yeah. And then when you do it, how much more fun it is, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so connected to everyone else around me. And you kind of pull back that same teamwork aspect that we all kind of can relate to from sports, and you just realize that we're all just little kids growing up. Like we're all just little kids getting older, and it's really not that serious. And I love that that stood out for you because I love it. So when I see everything, I'm like I'm motivated. Like it inspires me. So
Yeah.
um, all right, as you look back, I know we kind of mentioned a couple of the things, but what would you say your biggest wins were overall? If you were to tell somebody, "Hey, this is what I did," and it doesn't have to be, specifically in the gym. What would you say like your top three wins would be, just for you personally as a person?
Yeah, I think um, I learned how to really lead from the front and be that stability for people. Um, I learned that I can lift heavier things than I expect, and I should push myself every day. And
Mm,
that's inside the gym and outside the gym, meaning at work, I can lift heavy because I know I have the mental capacity to do that because I'm prepared for it. And I think the third one is leading relationships with intention because of my mental capacity, right? Because I've hit the gym, I've written down my daily affirmations. I know what I'm grateful for. I've written out, a journal prompt that I have about myself or something going on in my life. And then I take it to that next level and I lead my relationships, whether it's with my wife or it's with my friends or people at work. Everything is very intentional and has a purpose, and people need to be felt and heard. And that all comes from all the learnings that I've had in this program.
mm, that's beautiful. That's special, man. And you've been living it. You've been doing it. Um, and your ability to ask for help. I think this is a big part of this, that I've noticed with you is you would go through it. Everyone goes through it a little bit. You have some things going on with your family, personally, and you have that kind of like, okay, let me take a step back here, and you kind of lose that momentum a little bit. And it's like when you choose to ask for help, and you reached out to me a couple times like, hey, I'm kind of struggling right now with this, and being able to like look at your life in that way and see where you can step up and be more intentional, and then have that be something that actually makes you stronger, and looking at it as an opportunity for growth. Like um I've seen the way that you have, oh, am I here? I've seen the way that you have, like still applied that, um, months later, and some of the stuff that you've reached out to me and told me about. It's just like it's very cool, to see that, and really it's like the work is you doing it. There's no like, oh, I need to read this book or watch this training, or you just have to do it and be that person. And so, the fact that you have stepped into that is very, very impressive. Again, like give yourself credit for that. Have that included in your gratitude for like yourself, because like you are leading many, many people in your life, and it's amazing. So I'm so grateful to have had you, as one of the core members of True North, and that's why I want to have this conversation, just to really pick your brain and make sure we can continue making this impact, with everyone else. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a joy. It really has.
Amazing. Last question, based on um, your experience, what would you say that your true north is? I gotta ask that one. And who would
Yeah.
you recommend, this program to for some of the people listening?
Yeah, I think I guess we've touched on it quite a bit, but my true north is leading with intention and by example.
Hmm.
I think that's changed so much since when I started because I thought my true north was to be, the biggest, baddest, strongest person in the world when I started. And now it's like lead with intention, lead by example, and be that stability in people's lives.
Yes. Yes.
And that's all about showing up and being mentally prepared to show up. Um, And I would recommend this course to both people that are struggling and people that have it figured out, right? And those two things can mean so many different things to other people. But if you're struggling, if you're having, issues with relationships or with self-confidence or self-worth, this program does more than just help you lift in the gym. It's going to help you write things out and work through things and be in a community where people care about you. And then people that have their lives together can take all the tools that they have existing and expand them so much more in both the gym and in their daily lives.
Mm.
We are constantly evolving as human beings, and this program is opening that up to everyone.
Mm. So good. So good. I really appreciate you. And that
Yeah.
was very well explained, because you've basically had, different seasons along the past year where more of your energy went into the gym, more of your energy went into your
Mhm.
relationship, more of your energy went to, oh, I need to take care of me, and the fact that you're able to flow through that and have that dance with life and be able to be supported through that is really the way that allows you to come out on the other side with the perspective that you have now. So thank you for showing up, thank you for asking for help, thank you for doing the work, because it's something that more of us need to step into. So thanks for leading from the front.
Yeah. Yeah.